Hello, this is Dan Allen. I'm your host today for our webinar, and we're very fortunate today. We are going to be talking about Kudos Activities Plus, which is an application component of HCL Connections. And as you can see, our webinar topic is talking about delivering projects on time with connections in Kudos Activities Plus. Adam, how about the next slide? So we're really fortunate that we have two speakers today. We have our own Adam Gartenberg, who is Director of Product Management for Connections at HCL. And I think a lot of you probably have had sessions with Adam on webinars and other things. So we're glad to have Adam here today. But we also have a very special guest, a presenter, Maria Norden. And Maria works for ISW, which is Kudos Boards, and she is Business Development Marketing Manager. But more importantly, Maria has been an HCL ambassador for a long time. She's been in the collaboration community for a long time. She is a co-organizer of Let's Connect, a longtime Connections user and evangelist. And she now works at ISW, and she is going to be providing a demo in the second half of the presentation. So we're going to get started now, and Adam, I'm going to turn this over to you.
Great, thanks, Dan. So before we get into the slides, I want to spend a minute talking about activities for those of you who might not be familiar with it or might not have spent a lot of time using it. Activities is a core capability that's been with Connections from the beginning. Here, in fact, is how we described it in the original Connections 1.0 announcement. Activities delivers a single place to view, manage, and collaborate on all of the information, for example, email, instant messages, files, related to executing a specific task with your team. And we took a major step forward with activities with the Connections 6.5 release when we added in the availability of Kudos Activities Plus, which is included at no charge, and that's what Maria will take us through shortly. But looking back at activities, the ability to not only track assignments against deadlines, but bring together all of the information, all of the people involved in the activity, and importantly, having all of that integrated into the broader Connections collaboration platform is a very powerful capability, and it's something that really differentiates Connections and Activities Plus from other similar tools. Just to give you an example of the power here, think about a time when you joined a project or a team where work was already underway. How did you get up to speed, right? It was probably a mix of file shares or directories you were pointed to, which had no description or context, not a whole lot of organization, and then probably a whole bunch of forwarded emails that had confusing threads, duplicates. You might have to scroll halfway down a note to find something that was new, or you might have missed something because you assumed it was a repeat, but buried down in that thread was actually some new piece of information that you needed. And Activities, and especially Activities Plus, presents a solution to this by allowing you to easily organize all of these tasks, all of the items, bringing together the background information, bringing together the people involved, and having that context for all of this information that was shared all in one organized place. So with that as background, let's look at why this capability is in such demand. So what you see here on this chart is results of some work we did with our customers and business partners last year, looking at business scenarios and pain points they were trying to solve around collaboration. As you can see, project and task management came up second on the list here, with around 3/4 of the respondents, the people who participated, citing that as a pain point. When you think about it, task and project management is really central to just about any function. Whether it's a formal project like opening a new branch office, launching a new product, constructing a new building, but more often than not, it's also the informal work, the things you might not even think of as projects that need just as much management. Maybe you're rolling out a new HR plan for the year. You're running a software upgrade internally. You're redesigning a website. Really anything that involves more than a few steps and certainly involves multiple people really falls under this category, but even that isn't a requirement. Think about just how often you need to organize your own day or keep track of the things that you're working on and have to get done and when they're all due. So when you think about why it's so high on the list, like you see in the graph here, and think about what are some of the specific pain points around task management. These include challenges like ineffective communication and assignment of tasks, right? Understanding who's actually doing what and who has the lead for those specific tasks. The lack of transparency in work plans and project status. Being able to show everyone and be able to go and see who's working on what the status is, what the critical next step might be, or what else is on the critical path to getting your task done before you get there. The lack of a central place to store information and that limited access to information makes project management really challenging when the documents, the files you need are scattered all over the place where people might not have access to them or even visibility to see what's there. Another part that makes it difficult is identifying subject matter experts who need to contribute to this. A lot of times, projects, especially once you get outside of a small team, you need to bring in other people to do it. And maybe I need an expert from legal to do this. Maybe I need to reach out to someone in a specific country to check in on the rules and regulations there, or with a local team that's going to be executing on it. So they might not be a core part of the project team all along, but they're critical to a particular step. And so being able to go out and find those people to bring them in and involve them in the project, not having to worry about jumping through hoops to find them or getting them access to that information, access to the systems involved is really critical and can be a challenge if you don't have a good tool to do that. Being able to make sure you're prioritizing tasks and sharing and giving visibility into the assignments and that prioritization, and be able to easily reassign tasks or move things up or down the priority list as needed is an important capability here in project management. And of course, making sure everyone has access to the tools involved. That you don't need to worry about going out and acquiring new licenses just because someone else came onto the team, or having to follow up on a fallback mechanism of sharing information with them because they don't have access to that. So these are all challenges that come up when we look at successful project management and task management. So another aspect here that's underlying all of this is the importance of collaboration. So why is collaboration so central to successfully managing a project? Well, just like other aspects of work, having visibility and the ability to openly share tasks and the steps involved allows you, the team, and the organization as a whole to operate more efficiently and more effectively. Having collaboration integrated into your project management really delivers a force multiplier, right? It means that you can more effectively organize the tasks in the project, allocate them, find out where those bottlenecks are, make sure you're surfacing those crucial resources that you need, and integrating them all together. And when you think about it, just having a task management list, with a checkbox of who's doing what, is really only half the battle. The real value comes in, and you can be much more effective when you're able to go out and talk about what's going on, be able to communicate about the task, be able to take an email that you received about an item and add it in as background information associated with that task. Being able to follow up and ask questions, being able to see comment thread that might be associated with that task. Those are all really central to getting the job done, right? Not just managing who's doing what, but actually ensuring that you get the outcome that you're going for with that project overall, or even just that phase of the project. And that's really what we built out with Activities Plus, is that seamless integration of content between the broader collaborative capabilities of connections and the task and project management that are central to Activities Plus. And similarly, going the other way as well, providing the visibility into the project, into your connections communities, for example, or into your, as updates into your Orient Me homepage and your activity feed, so that you can see the project status, you can see when things are due or see when things are overdue, see who is responsible for the next phase of that project. And all of this gives you the freedom to set up the workflow and customize it and your activities the way that works best for you. So let's look at how Connections helps deliver on these capabilities. Connections delivers a tool set that you need to enable effective and efficient collaboration. And task management really is a key part of any collaboration tool set. So when you step back and think about what Connections allows you to do, Connections meets your needs to collaborate, working together in real time on plans, tasks, projects, as well as to collaborate on things like content and documents, to share them, make updates in real time, provide feedback, see those comments and be able to respond to them. Also making sure that all of the relevant people are involved in that initiative. It enables you to find expertise, so you know that you can find the person with that information, the person you can trust to have the answer that you need when you need it, or find a backup for that person who has a similar skill set if that person isn't available. It lets you bring your discussions and your collaboration out in the open. So rather than closed discussions in email or limited chat groups, you've got an open place to collaborate so that other people can contribute to it. So that you can have those knowledge accidents that only come when you have open communities where the information you're looking for is discoverable and can be found when someone's searching for it. And it meets your needs to engage so that everyone understands their purpose, the mission, and the priorities for that team and that project. And similarly, so you can keep your finger on the pulse of the organization, so you can listen and respond to concerns and understand what's going on. And so Connections provides for all of these capabilities through flexible workspaces and communities to help you organize and bring all of the relevant content and people together in one place around those common goals or projects. By providing expertise discovery, so you can make sure you have the right people involved in the project and quickly find new people when you need expertise that you might not have already. Makes it very easy to bring your community with you. For example, with the sidebar capability that was introduced recently, so you have always on access to your Connections content, your people, your notifications, wherever you might be working inside your, on any website inside of your intranet. And then Orient Me for that personalized homepage to make sure that you not only have immediate access to the people and communities that you need with one click, but that all of the notifications, all of the updates, all of the places that someone mentions you because they want to make sure that you're seeing what they're sharing, bringing all of that together for you in one place. You know, similar to that, Touchpoint is a new capability that lets you bring new staff on board quickly, so that they start using Connections with a fully filled out profile and a network of contacts and communities that they can start interacting with right away, and really helps improve the adoption of Connections and the productivity of everyone involved. And then, of course, we have Kudos Activities Plus that brings together the project coordination around your tasks, lets you easily share your progress of the activities, and see and collaborate around the project status. As I mentioned before, Activities Plus was introduced with Connections 6.5, and it's a major step forward in the user experience and capabilities for activities. While Activities has been around from the beginning of Connections, it didn't really get the love that it deserved over the last several updates. And that's why we're very excited to partner with Kudos to bring Activities Plus to all Connections customers at no additional charge, so that you can have a modern user interface and all of the capabilities you need to really be effective with activities. And I think you'll get a glimpse of that from Maria in a moment. But I would strongly encourage you, if you're using Connections today and your users aren't making a lot of use of activities, or something that people tried and kind of set to the side, please roll out Activities Plus, give it to your users, and I think you'll see a world of difference there. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Maria for a demo.
Thank you, Adam. And thank you, Dan, for the introduction. So I hope you see my screen.
Yep, looks good.
Excellent. So my name is Maria Nordin from ISW, which is an Australian company. I'm based in Europe. I've been at ISW for a couple of years, but before that, I've been also working in the IBM HCL community with connections for as long as I can remember. And thank you, Adam, for the talk about activities and connections together, because we at ISW, we feel the same. We feel that activities is the place you go to when you want to get your things and tasks done. And it's an excellent app to collaborate in. Everybody has tasks. You have your personal task that you want to do. You need to call your dentist or whatever it is. And then you have your team task, and then you have a task that is more for the organization. And everything can be put in connections activities. And ISW developed Kudos boards. I think you've heard about that, many of you, many years ago. And that was also from the beginning connected to connections, just because we thought that was a great mix. So now when HCL decided to do something about activities, we thought that it was a good idea to join forces. So Activities Plus, let's have a look. This is the start page you see when you access Activities Plus. And this is my page. I see all my activities that I'm involved in. It can be my personal activity that nobody else has access to. And it can be a team activity for my team of 5-10 people. We are working on something together. And it can be a public activity for the full organization or for a large team that I can jump in and out to and have a look on progress and how it is going and etc. As Adam says, you don't have to call your colleague now. How's it going? Have you done this? And what's the update? And where is that file? You just go to the activity and you find everything in there. We can see here all these tiles. All these tiles are one activity. I can see accessed in the last month, all my boards. This is also connected to Kudos boards, the full product we have. So sometimes it says board instead of activity, but I'm sure it's not too confusing. I can also, if I have a lot of activities, I can color code them, for example. These are color tags that I can rename. I can click here on colors and then just put a name on them, a label on them. And then I can drag and drop that label upon the task, upon the board activity. So then I can sort this view. If I click on extra important, then I only see the activities that I have labeled extra important. And
Maria, we seem to have lost your audio connection. So I wanted to make sure you're aware of that.
Yes, but let's go back to here. Let's dive into one of them, employee onboarding. This is a great example on what you can use an activity for. Employee onboarding. If you hire somebody, you have the similar tasks every time. You have maybe a pre-boarding checklist, you have the first week, you have the first day, you have the second week. You list all the things that you need to do with this person. Maybe they need to meet certain managers or get some files to sign or some access to software or computers. All these things you can list in this example. And this is one activity that we see. These gray lines are lists. And underneath the list, we have our tasks. So if I close these ones, I see my 3 lists. And I see also how many tasks I have underneath each and every one of them. Up here to the right, I can also expand and collapse them all. If I feel that I want to move this around a little bit, I can totally do that. I can take this list and drag and drop it and put it there instead. Super easy. So that is also one of the things we hear from our customers a lot. They ask me, Maria, how do I start? Where do I start? And what's wrong? What's right? This is one of the strengths with Activities Plus. There is only what you decide this moment, and you can always change it later if you feel that this is not what I was thinking from the start. Same with the tasks. Let's say just take this task and then just drag and drop it underneath another list. If I want to create another list, scroll down, and here we have add a list. I just click lista, that was Swedish, and enter. And then if I want to add a task, I can scroll down or just add a card, it's called, underneath one of the lists, and then just enter. New task there. We have a little checkbox. When I have completed this task, I can click there, it's done. So then somebody can go into this activity and see, aha, this task is done. Excellent. You see these little profile pictures out here. These are the members of just this activity. We have a little member menu here as well. If I click that, I see all the members that are in this activity. It's only me here, which is a little bit confusing because you saw that there was 2 more people here. But if you look in the bottom, you see groups, and that is actually a connections community, because this is also one of the amazing things with Activities Plus, that if you want to, you can connect this activity to a connections community. So, and I have done that. So this is a connections community, and it says inherit from group, which means that all the people in the connections community gets automatically transferred over here and become member of this activity. I can choose not to if I want to in this list. I can just also delete this, remove member, and they are not here. And also inherit from group means that they have the same access rights. If you are an owner, an editor with full access in the connections community, you also get the same access right here. And then you can also change in this list. If I want to add more people, I just click in the add individuals group as members in this search field here. I click here and then I just start typing the name, and it's type ahead, so it will list all the people. If I type MAR, then all the people, Maria, will turn up in this search list. I can also invite by email. Adam mentioned that you can collaborate with a lot of people, not only people in your organization. You can actually invite an external person to this activity only. Let's say that you have a consultant that is working in your HR department for just this activity. Type that email address in here. That person will receive an invite, and they can log in. They can't log in with your connections credentials because they are not part of your organization, but they can log in with their LinkedIn, Facebook, Google, or Apple ID. So it's very flexible. And then you can also remove them if you want to afterwards. And also important, they only have access to this activity, nothing else. And here also, I can make this activity public if I want to, if I want everybody in the organization to have a look. So let's close that. If I want to assign a task to somebody or vice versa, we have Jared here. He has not much to do, so I'm taking his profile picture, drag and drop upon one of the tasks. He gets now an email that says, Maria has assigned a task to you. It says welcome coffee and office tour. That suits Jared perfectly. He can, let's say that he doesn't really understand what I mean. So let's open this task. This is the task card. Every task has a card like this. And you have a lot of options here on top. I'm not going to go through them all, but it goes too much. I can add a description. Like this. and he can read it. Maybe he's a little bit confused still. So then he can go to the comment section here and he can say, @ Maria, what do you mean? ? Now it's me, myself and I that have written this, but I'm sure you get the picture. And then I can comment on it as well. And I also get notified that Jared has a question to me, of course. In the task card, this is a very good thing, set date. Sometimes a task has a due date. Then you set that here, due date. Let's take a date and okay. You can also set a start date and an end date. In Activities Plus, this has no meaning. These can end up on a timeline if you have the full Kudo Sports experience, but that's not applicable now. So let's see if there was something else. I can also assign members here from this menu. And this is something new that we have that a customer actually wished for. Sometimes you have, let's say you have 5 people working on this task, and almost complete means that 5 people need to click the OK button that I have completed this task to make it look completed. Or anyone can complete, and then I can just click on it and then it's completed. We have now some icons here. We see that we have a description, we have a comment, and we have a due date. We can scroll up here because I think, no. If the due date is, yeah, here, I didn't see it. This is orange or red, which means that the due date has passed. So we are late with this task. We have forgot it or something else. This is also very good. Let's open this one. Here we have a link to another activity. Let's say that we have this employee onboarding, and then we say that please look in this other activity for more information. Then I can put a link here in that. And you add them here, attach and link. And I can actually talk about this because this is good. You can upload a file. Let's say you have a PDF. I want somebody to look at this PDF and I upload this to this task. I can link to file, and this is actually the connections files that I can link to. So here, if I have files in the community that I talked about earlier, I can link to a certain file in that link, in that library of files. And here I can link to a board if I want to. Let's close that. Another thing that I use a lot is the color tags, because this is also one of the great filtering options we have in Activities Plus. If you feel that you have so many tasks or it's getting confusing, and I only want to see certain tasks, for example, this needs room booking. Same here, you can edit the color tags by just click on them and then just give them a name. These room booking, I drag and drop this upon my task, and then I can click on that one, and then I see all the tasks that needs room booking, and then I can immediately start booking those meeting rooms wherever it is. Unclick, and then I see all my tasks. This is basically what we have in the activities view, and as we said earlier, you can use activities to anything. Your imagination is the limit. If I'm curious about who is doing what in this activity, let's say I have 50 tasks and it's a little bit confusing. I can either click on myself, then I only see the tasks that I'm involved with. I can also click here, assignments, because then I get instead a little list on all the people and which tasks they have assigned to them. And then I also see that we have one unassigned, which is not very good because then nobody will do this task. So I can immediately drag and drop this to Wannes. He gets now a notification that he has a task. And some of these tasks will appear in several of these lists because maybe both me and Jared are working on the same task. send an email to our existing employees, for example, then that task will end up on both of them, both of our lists. And this is good because then you can see if somebody has a lot of tasks and somebody has less, and we need to reshuffle it a little bit. Another view we have is to do by date. And here you can see all the tasks with a due date. And we had quite many without a date, and you see no date, quite many. And here we have one overdue and some next week and no date. So I can also drag and drop these ones up and down like this, and then automatically they will get a date assigned to them. I have also some board properties. This is then the activity properties. I can set a due date for the full activity. This is a great thing. Create template from a board. We see that many times activities can be reproduced. Let's say we have a monthly activity of something going on. I will close this one and I will go to my start page again. I have this September work. There's nothing in it, but this is an example. If I have something that goes on every month, I can create a template out of this one. I open board preferences and create template from this one. I give the template a name and a description, and if I want to have the same members, and then save. And I can also choose if I want this template to be public. And if I then go to my start page again, then I can click on templates here and find it here. I already did that before this call. So here I can scroll around amongst my templates, which is very good. So you don't have to redo the full activity again if you have a lot in it. And let's also look at my to-do here. This list is very good because now I can see all the to-dos I have from all the boards and activities I'm in. So let's say I'm working on 5 activities at the same time, but then I'm a little bit, what should I do today? Then I go to this to-do menu and I can see, oh, this is for today and this is for tomorrow and this is later this week. And I can perfectly well also drag and drop things. No, I cannot do this today. Let's take it next week instead. And also I see here if they are assigned to me or created by me. So that was board activities. What I would just very briefly would like to say, Kudos Boards is another product. Well, it's basically based on the same thing. You see here to the right, we have boards, mind map, and timeline. These are not in the free entitlement that Adam talked about before, but you can perfectly well, if you use Activities Plus and click on boards, you will start a free trial on boards just to have a look at it, and then you can use it for 30 days and then it stops automatically. You don't have to do anything. And the same, and it just looks like the same activity, but in a board view. This is the Kanban style board view. Same here, you have lists you can drag and drop. You have tasks you can drag and drop. And in this full experience, you also have a mind map, which looks like this you can work on. And you have a timeline, which looks like this. And these are the tasks with a start date and an end date. Let's go back to activities. Oh, and one important thing also, archived. Another thing that people can be a little bit nervous about is if you accidentally delete things. Not to worry, in Activities Plus, you can always restore things. It's here in archived. Do I have time to show the integration to connections?
Yeah, I think
Sure.
that should be fine.
Okay, cool. Let's have a quick look at that. If I go to my next tab here, I am in connections. This is a sample connections community. It's not much in it because it's just a test that I've been doing, but I'm sure you recognize it. We have the connections community title. I had a little picture here. I have my members and blog and wiki and all that. If now I want to work in Activities Plus in my community, then I go to Community Actions, Add Apps. And here you should find Activities Plus. And click there, adding application, close this dialog, and we added a widget. So first we need to choose what we want to do with this widget. Do we want to list all boards that is connected to this community, or a specific board activity in this case? I want to list all the activities that we have connected to this one. So I click Save. This can also be changed later in this little setting wheel here. The widget setting, you can just go back here and change it if you want to. So here I actually see all the boards and activities that is connected to this community. And it's a little bit small, so I usually do like this, just put it on top here, so it gets a little bit larger. And then I can work in my activity in connections. I don't have to leave connections, which I find quite amazing actually. So that was what I was planning to show. There's tons more, but this was my plan for today.
Great, thank you very much, Maria, for taking us through that demo.
Thank you.
And you're giving us a view into everything that Activities Plus provides. As Maria mentioned, in addition to the capabilities that are entitled with connections, there is a 30-day trial to try out the full Kudos boards with the Kanban style and mind map and timeline views as well. So would certainly encourage you to try that out and see if that's something that you want to pursue as well. So before we wrap up, one thing I did want to point out, we are rolling out a survey today for all of you who are Connections customers already, or might be business partners working with Connections customers. We strongly encourage and request that you go fill out the survey. It'll only take 5 to 10 minutes, and it's a bit about the use cases that you're using Connections for, and the features that you're using to help power those use cases and other things you might want to see included in it. We're always looking at how we can improve Connections going forward and prioritizing our roadmap. And this will be a big help for us to make sure that we're focusing Connections on the use cases that are most important to you. So if you want to scan the QR code on the screen, you can do that. The presentation is included in the handout section of the GoToWebinar panel, and you can download it from there and click on the link to take the survey as well. So I'll leave that up another minute, but again, thank you in advance for your feedback there. And just to close out, I just want to say again, thank you to Maria for showing us Activities Plus in action. Hopefully you've come away with this with a better understanding of what it can offer and why and how it can help your organization for everything from personal task management and to-do lists all the way out through major projects you might have across the organization. And again, we really feel that having a solution, not just with the capabilities of Activities Plus, but integrated into Connections so that everyone has access to it and you have that two-way collaboration between your communities and your work and activities, and going back to bringing in the commenting and the people and all the other aspects of Connections that you can easily surface as part of Activities Plus really can be a game changer for how you manage everything from small projects to major initiatives across the company. And with that, we can open it up to Q&A. I do see one question in the Q&A section already. and Maria, I'm going to turn this over to you, or we can follow up afterwards. There's a question about multi-language support for Activities Plus, and in particular for Korean.
I have a long list of languages that we support. Unfortunately, I do not remember the languages. I'm sorry for that, but we can definitely communicate that afterwards. I will check it.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Thanks, Maria. Other questions? Okay, well, if not, I will assume that we've covered everything. Want to thank you all for your time.
There's one question just popped up, Adam. I just want to show you this. Can you have multiple Activity Plus panels in a community?
As far as I know, that you can only have one widget, but in that widget you can browse in between your activities. But this is a common question, so I maybe we need to figure out if we can actually have two widgets. Adam, what do you say about that?
Yeah, let's look into that.
Yes.
That would be great input on the survey, potentially too. So another reason to take the survey. So.
Okay, well, if there isn't anything else, thank you all very much for your time and your interest, and hope to speak again soon. Take care.